Good evening, everyone. Happy Wednesday. How's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? What is going on, folks? Shout out to the folks in the chat. Make sure you all hit that like button, hit that subscribe. If you're new, keep sharing this channel out with everybody you know. I would greatly appreciate it. What is going on, everybody? What is going on? What is up? What is up? What is up? So much to talk about, but at the same time, there's not a lot to talk about, right? I mean, it's been a pretty quiet winter meetings. I mean, I think this is the most quiet that I have seen in a long time. And when it comes to the New York Yankees, this is extremely quiet. I mean, the Yankees have not made a single move. There's been a lot of chatter, a lot of rumors, a lot of hot stove type stuff, but the Yankees just haven't done anything, right? They haven't signed anybody. They haven't traded for anybody. In general, when you think about it, it's been a pretty quiet off season for the most part. There, just a few big signings here and there, right? I mean, you saw the big one yesterday with Edwin Diaz going to the Dodgers. I mean, I don't know how many people saw that coming. And then today, the big news with Pete Alonso going to the signing with the Orioles on a 5-year deal worth $155 million. So, the Mets lost big on Edwin Diaz and Pete Alonso. So that's pretty crazy. But the two big names, right? Kyle Tucker, Cody Bellinger. These guys are still free agents. No team has signed them yet. And I don't know about you. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised that these guys are still available. I'm surprised these guys have not signed a deal yet. It's clear as day that the Yankees want to bring back Cody Bellinger. I think they're willing to offer, according to Joel Sherman, they want to offer him big money. What does big money mean? I don't know. I think the biggest obstacle that the Yankees are trying to overcome with Bellinger, I think it's the years. I don't think they want to stick, long term on a long term contract necessarily with Bellinger. For me personally, when it comes to Cody Bellinger, I mean, I think 5 years is going to have to is something the Yankees should be able to, settle with Bellinger. I know Bellinger is probably looking for 6 or 7 years. I'm not down with the 6 or 7. And what I think would get a deal done is if the Yankees said 5 years and the 6 years an option, and it could be a mutual option. I think the Yankees are being very careful in how they're, what kind of contract, what kind of money that they're offering Bellinger. Although, again, Joel Sherman said that they would offer big money for one player, and that player is Cody Bellinger. Again, how much money are they willing to offer? That's the question. I'm wondering what that number is, but I think it's more or less the years that I think they can't come to an agreement on. Now, the Yankees have been linked to a lot of players. They've had quote unquote interest in a lot of players, right? Brandon Donovan is one of them. Cody Bellinger is one of them. They checked in on Kyle Tucker today. You've been hearing about Corey Seager that the Yankees are the Corey Seager's interested in being traded to the Yankees. The Yankees are could be in play for Corey Seager. Although my thought on Corey Seager is this: if the Yankees really wanted him, they should have signed him when he was a free agent. To me, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to trade for him now. Although, let's be honest, would he be an upgrade at shortstop? 100% he would be an upgrade at shortstop. But the money that's owed to him, he's getting a little bit older, and also the injury concerns, because he did miss quite a few games last year. And that's that as a fan, that's always going to be a concern for me. And injuries are inevitable, no doubt. But again, Seager would be an upgrade, but I feel like the time, if the Yankees were to get Corey Seager, right, if they were to trade for Corey Seager, I wouldn't complain. But the money that's attached to it, and his age, and him missing some seasons, It's not just, this season. It was the seasons prior to that too. He was missing a lot of games, and that's a concern. Especially when it comes to the New York Yankees, because when one of these guys gets hurt, it kind of just all tumbles down. Now, I think, one of the biggest things that, according to Cashman, that the Yankees are trying to accomplish is they're trying to have like platoon type, type players, right? Cashman did mention that, he wants to make he needs to make the lineup a little bit more balanced, in which he does, right? It's funny how this season there was so many lefty bats. There was an insane amount of lefty bats. I mean, the righty bats was, almost non-existent. And 2 years ago they were too righty heavy. So now they need to figure out this balance. And I think, right now, I think the Yankees during the winter meetings, I think they've been trying to be a little bit more active in the trade market, just because you look at the free agent market. Really, I mean, it's like I said in one of my shorts, the free agent market is really not, it's subpar, and, the asking price of these players is way too high. And I think I think a lot of teams are waiting for the numbers to come down, and I can't blame them. And, I think right now too, I think a lot of teams are trying to offer short-term contracts with a higher AAV. So they're not trying to commit to long-term contracts, which I totally understand. I mean, sometimes those long-term contracts in the beginning, it looks great. It's great and all in the beginning, but as time goes on, players age, they get older. All of a sudden, that contract doesn't look so great. But it's part of the business. It's baseball. It's sports. It's inevitable. It happens. But I think also, I think the Yankees they're exploring all their options, right? There's been a lot of back and forth as far as if they're trying to go over 300 million or stay under 300 million. I think inevitably they're going to be over 300 million, assuming that they make moves. Even Scott Boras said that, talking with Brian Cashman, because Brian Cashman has talked with Boras about multiple clients, right? Multiple players. So, there's interest, but which players are the Yankees truly trying to target? We know Cody Bellinger is one of them, but who else is out there? Again, they've been linked to a lot of names, but which names are they actually trying to go after besides Cody Bellinger? I mean, that's the question. I don't know. This winter meeting, this 2025 winter meetings, it's been a slow one. Just in general, I know there's been a few names that have come off the board so far, but in previous winter meetings, you've heard of like multiple free agents signing with teams. You've heard of trades going down, but this has been a very quiet one. I think a lot of teams right now are holding out, and I don't think they're necessarily giving into the demands of the players and the agents. So I think they're just going to wait for. For prices to come down a little bit, but I don't think they're going to come down much. But here's the thing: today's the last day of the winter meetings. It doesn't necessarily mean the Yankees can't make any other moves or any other teams can't make any other moves. But I'm wondering, Yankees, what are you doing? What are we doing here? What are we waiting on? When are we striking? Like we're waiting for Brian Cashman to make the big move, the big splash. Usually there's at least one, right? So I still think they'll make a move. It's just a matter of who and when. Again, today's the last day of the winter meetings, so it could very well still go down. It could still go down late tonight. But even after the winter meetings is over, the off season is still going to go on. The Yankees could still, negotiate with players and teams. So it's not like it's completely over and the Yankees are just going to settle with, what they have. And if they just settle with what they have right now, I could tell you right now, I'm not feeling too confident going into the 2025 or 2026 season. But I think they know the moves need to be made and need to be made sooner rather than later. So, let's just hope for the best. I mean, I could only hope for the best, but at this point, look, if they get Bellinger, I'm happy with it. If they move on from Bellinger and they sign Kyle Tucker, guess what? I'm not going to complain one bit. But they need to do something, and one of those two guys needs to be signed. But I think we all know the Yankees are more interested in Cody Bellinger, and I can't say I blame them. And there was a tweet put out by Hector Beauchamp, who has his own channel called Uptown Sports, put out a tweet just a little bit ago saying that chatter in the lobby late about Bellinger has the Yankees standing firm with their 5-year offer. Boris is pushing for 7 years. Dollar figures as of now are unknown. So kind of what I was talking about just a few minutes ago. So, Yankees, I think, are trying to stay pat at 5 years. Boris is trying to push for 7. I don't blame the Yankees for staying put at 5 for Bellinger. I don't. I mean, Bellinger's going to be 30 years old. 7 years would take him to 37 years old. I don't think that contract is going to really age well. And it's nothing against Cody Bellinger. It's all love for Cody Bellinger. I love the guy. Great player. He was a contributor last season, but 7 years I think is a little too much for Cody Bellinger. I think 5 years is more than fair. 5 years, and you got to make this. If you're really trying to swing the pot here, and you really want to land this guy, if you really want to, if Scott Boras is willing, I just make the 6-year a mutual option. That's the only way you're going to get. I feel like the Yankees and Bellinger could come to an agreement there. Yankees are not going 7. I think they've made that pretty clear. So I think it needs to be a 5-year contract. Make the 6-year mutual option, and then call it a day. And then the Yankees could go focus on other players and other interests. So, because it's not just it's going to take more than Cody Bellinger. They need to definitely get another bat. If Brian Cashman's talking about adding righties, he most definitely needs to add other bats to that lineup. It can't just be Cody Bellinger and obviously Trent Grisham, except in the QO. The Yankees have other areas of need too. They still need to explore pitching. Pitching is a bit, I've been talking about it. I know a lot of folks have been talking about it. They need to, make sure that bullpen is well set up, and absolutely they need to go after a starting pitcher as well. So hopefully the Yankees do. Hopefully the Yankees are exploring in those areas too, which I believe they are. I don't think they're, settling with what they have with pitching, although they have some in-house options as well. But are these in-house options, are they necessarily MLB ready? Some of these guys are probably ready, but as of right now, the Yankees, if they're a win now organization, then they go out there and acquire players without going too nuts, right? So let's see what happens. But I've been ranting, I've been talking for 15 minutes, almost 15 minutes, but I haven't even said what's up to the chat yet. And I got so many people in here. I got a little over 90 people. So let's try to get to 90 likes. If we're not there yet, let's get to 90 likes. Let's show your boy some love. If you're watching for the first time, hit that sub button. Let's continue growing this channel. Appreciate you all being here. You guys and gals are the best. Let me say what's up to the chat here. We got our friend Jacob Petruzzi, first person in the building. What is going on? We got Jake in the building. What is up? It's Over is in the building. John is in the building. TC Steels. Brooklyn's in the house. What's up, Susan? Cecilia's in the building. Joseph is in the building. Jonathan is in the building. Who else we got in the building? I know we got some other folks in here. Nosebleed, my friend. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Hayden. What's up, Hayden? What is going on? Brad, what is up? CWE, salute to you, man. What's up, CWE? Feel like I haven't seen you in a while. What is up? Brandon Lee, what up, man? What's going on? What's up? Who else we got in the building? Oliver Garrett. Yep. LA has become a dynasty. I wouldn't be surprised if they three-peat. As soon as they sign Edwin Diaz, and apparently there's something in the works for Skubal. if they get Scooble, oh man, that's gonna be that's gonna be brutal. That's gonna be brutal. Um, who else we got in the building? Just wanna say what's up. Mike Rocky, what's up? He says Bellinger's a perfect fit for the Yankees. I just need another bat. Yeah, 100%. Um, Brad says Seager's and Isles still waiting to happen. 100%. That's the problem with Seager, man. Great player, but too injury prone. T Sports, are the Yankees going to make a move? They better. They have to. They don't have a choice. And where was that? I saw Dev Finch in the building, and shout out to Dev Finch, member of the Strike Zone for 19 months. Shout out to you, man. Thank you so much for the love and support. Who else we got in the building? Mike Rocky, Cruise Control. What's up, man? Jake Boss is in the building. What's up? What's up? How we doing? Who else? Oh, we got Cruz in the building. What's up, Cruz? He says, New York Yankees team is a failure because they do nothing for the fans and tickets are so expensive to go to the stadium. Just blah, blah, blah. Cashman, hey, one way to make your voice heard. Don't go to the games. Start boycotting, right? We got Daniel Berry. Lakers, Dodgers for life joining us from X. What's up, man? He says, as an outsider looking into what Yankees are doing, I get the sense they are not going to be super active in free agency, especially after what Steinbrenner said about the Dodgers. They'll probably get Cody, but that won't be enough. That's what I've been saying. It's not going to be enough at all, period. Yeah, Bellinger and Boris holding up Yankees from pursuing Tucker. They don't want to sour the Boris tree. He has other clients they are interested in. But see, that's just it. It's like there's other clients that they're interested in. So that Imai's one of them, right? I hope the Yankees still land Imai. I mean, that he's definitely still on my wish list. Who else we got? Need right-handed bats, sign Polanco, sign Austin Hayes, sign relievers. This is getting crazy. Cashman needs to be creative. Well, let's just hope for the best. Has Cashman been at Disneyland all this time? I want to go to Disneyland. It's unbelievable that Aaron is the judge and other players have no batting average and they're going to win anyway. Yeah, again, they got work to do. What's up, Ken? What's going on? How we doing? Dave, what's up, Dave? How's it going? The Chocolate. What up, man? It says it seems that the Yankees tend to struggle negotiating with Boris over the years. Well, I mean, look at the asking price of some of these players, man. I mean, Pete Alonso just signed with the Orioles. It's on a 5-year, $155 million deal. That the AAV on that is about $31 million. You tell me, is that a bit of an overpay? I think so, a little bit for Alonso, but I think he's a big home run hitter. Yes, he hits a lot of home runs, but he also strikes out a lot. Defense, subpar. You know what I mean? So I just think that I think it's a bit of an overpay. It's a bit of an overpay. Boris tricked Mets with Alonso. Bellinger going to take a $200 million 7 years to the Mets. You know what? See ya. You know what I mean? If 7 years is the if there's dead set on the 7 years, you know what? See you later, Bellinger. I hate to say that, but I think offering 5 years for Cody Bellinger, I think it's more than fair. I really do. I really do. Yeah, I might have to join you on that one. Savannah Bananas. Mets finished still Bellinger with a huge overpay. I mean, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, they're also interested in Goldschmidt, like the Chocolate is saying. Mets are now thinking of replacing Alonso with Goldie. Yeah, I did see that. That's fine. They can have him. They can have him. I'm not worried about it. Little Pete does play every day, so I give that some value too. That I can understand. I see where you're coming from with that, Steezy. I see what you're saying. Bryce says Mets aren't going after Bellinger and Alonso based off Heyman and Martino guys. Yeah, well, you could base that off of the beat writers, but then again, you never know. You know, you never know. Anything is possible. The Aaron Judge window for a championship is closing quickly. Yeah, he's getting a little bit older, man. So, the time is now. It's always been now. So, again, this is the time to do it. And keep in mind too, this is Brian Cashman's. His contract is going to be up after 2026. So what is the future for Brian Cashman after 2026? Is he going to continue as GM? Are they going to renew a contract with him, or is he just going to continue just being senior VP of the organization? We'll see. But I mean, if this is in fact his last year as GM and he steps away from GM duties, I mean, I would think you want to go out with a bang. So yeah. Cadiza, what's up, Cadiza? I wouldn't want to have a contract with Bellinger until he's 38. I wouldn't either. I wouldn't. Not with Bellinger. But I think 5 years is more than reasonable. I think a 5-year contract for Cody Bellinger. I think I think that's more than reasonable. So make it 5 years, make the 6-year an option. So that's what I have in my mind. Giving the young guys a chance when Judge is getting older isn't the way to go. You have to win now, which once again, the Yankees are a win now organization. So, you go with what you have in house, which listen, you got to give the young guys a chance. I mean, we all want to see these guys, see some of these prospects come up and play, but if you're trying to win, you gotta get the players that are going to help you win right now. Yeah, this might be the last offseason for him. The two Japanese players, you talking about Okamoto and Imai. There's also Murakami. I believe their window is open right now. So their window is open. They're available. So they're probably going to sign at some point. I believe they have till January 4th. It's like the first or second week of January for that window to sign with a Major League Baseball team. If not, then they go back to Japan. He says, "Nah, Cashman's gone. Why extend him for more years? It's time for new faces." Listen, I would welcome it. And the big question is who replaces Cashman. So we got 32 likes. All right, 32 likes. I got over 100 people in here. Come on, let's get over 100 likes. We're at 32. Let's show your boys some love. Let's get to 32. Let's get over 100 likes if we can. Jay's getting Tucker and Robert Suarez. Geez, that's tough. Yeah, well, that happens, man. That's probably the Blue Jays division. It's theirs if they get it. Yeah, I mean, more or less CW, it's just teams reaching out, as far as these, as far as, price availability, I think these guys are going to start, setting up meetings with teams, and, they're going to start, interviewing, teams, and teams are going to interview them, see if there's a fit. It's going to be kind of like, what it was last year with Roki Sasaki, the year before that with Yoshinobu Yamamoto. So, it's going to be like that. Watch the Mets sign Murakami for first base. It's open. It's open. I mean, unless they decide to go, Paul Goldschmidt. Rudy Gonzalo, what's up, man? He says, "Do you think we'll trade for Seager?" I don't see it happening personally. I'd be shocked if it did. I would extremely be shocked if the Yankees did trade for Seager. I wouldn't welcome it. Again, I like Corey Seager. He would be an immediate upgrade at shortstop. There's no doubt. But, the time to sign Corey Seager was when he was a free agent. I wanted the Yankees to actually sign him when he was a free agent. But, ultimately they didn't. But the problem is, again, it's the injuries. He's very injury prone. He missed a lot of games last season. Missed a ton of games last season. So that's a problem. That's a problem. Laker Dodger for Life says the thing about Cody Bellinger is now there's not going to be a bidding war for services. Who's going to overpay? Well, I don't think there's a team that's willing to overpay. Unless if it's the Dodgers and they could defer his contract, defer part of his money. That's what the Dodgers do. I mean, they're able to do it. Pixelmon says Yankees should go get Bichette and trade McMahon. McMahon's going to be a hard player to trade, though. Should the Yankees decide to trade him, that $16 million, I don't know. Great defender. I mean, great for third baseman. Love his glove. His bat, though, I mean, certainly needs improvement. He'd be a hard player to trade. You'd have to really make that trade attractive. Ken from Myrtle Beach, what's up? He says, "Have you seen the O's lineup?" Yeah, that lineup is going to be bananas, man. But they still need pitching, though. They still need pitching. I'm hoping to get maybe after sometime during the offseason, I want to get JB from the Back It Up Binge podcast. He's a big Orioles fan. I actually just messaged him a little bit earlier, asking him what he thought about the Alonso trade. He seemed pretty excited. What if the Rangers eat some of that Seager money? CWE, I would welcome that. How much money, though? That's the question. Because I would ask the Texas Rangers to eat quite a bit of that money. I really would. If to make it worthwhile. And what would the Rangers want back in return? That's the question. But yeah, I would most definitely ask the Texas Rangers to eat some of that money. So the Yankees need to get Donovan. 100%, they need to go get Brandon Donovan, man. I would love. I know myself and some of the other content creators, Yankees fans, have been talking about this guy for a long time. Jason from 161, especially, he's been talking about Brandon Donovan for like the last couple of years, and he'd be a great asset in that lineup. And you put him in that leadoff spot, he'd be perfect. He'd be perfect. And Joel Sherman was saying the Blue Jays will have a higher payroll than the Yankees. What a pathetic team. Yeah, I mean, they're able. They got their ownership they're loaded. Yankees trade for Trevor McGill inside Brett Keller for sure. $8 million per year, so it'd be $24 million a year for Yankees to pay. Yeah, that's the Seager contract, right? Oh, and shout out to my guy Hector from Uptown Sports TV. I was just talking about you, bro. I saw your tweet there with Cody Bellinger. I know you're out there in Orlando. Shout out to you, bro. Appreciate you being here, bro. You still out there? Are you still hearing anything? What's going on, bro? What's going on? But shout out to Uptown Sports TV. Go check out Hector and his channel. Does a really good job over there with Grace and Ace. So Hector's been doing some big things. Shout out to you, Hector. Miss you, bro. I miss you, man. We need to link up someday and talk. I know it's been a while. Yeah, I don't think there's any way they're going to take Ryan McMahon. I don't want Cody Bellinger back. I get it. A lot of fans don't. A lot of Yankees fans would rather have Kyle Tucker. All right, we're at 50 likes. All right, we're halfway there. We're halfway to 100. I got 113 people watching on YouTube. Let's break that 100. Let's break that 100. Brandon Lee says, quoting from Joel Sherman, the Yankees should be afraid of the Jays. The team's ownership could buy the Steinbrenners out multiple times. Yeah, they could, but they won't. But they're not going to. Like Jays ownership got money, man. They got money. Let's see who else we got. And Beers, how crying poverty was not on my 2025 bingo card. I mean, I wasn't expecting that either. Everything's quiet now. Just whatever Cody buzz as of now with Pete and Schwarber getting 5 years. Pete is pushing for 7 years. Did you mean Pete or Cody? Did you mean Cody Bellinger? If I'm the best option, why Yankees interested in pitchers like Mackenzie Gore? I mean, probably be for pricing would be my guess. I mean, he wouldn't be as expensive. Paranormal, what's up? He says, I would love Bellinger and also trade for Donovan. We've been talking about this, man. We've been talking about Donovan. Uptown Hector says, if I'm Cashman or Hal, I'm comfortable giving Tucker a 7-year deal. I mean, a little bit younger. I think they would they would have to go that route. I know there's been some buzz about, you know, the as far as Tucker goes, the Cubs were looking to give him a higher AAV with a shorter term contract. But that's not going to happen. You know, that's not going to happen. More of the same Yankees content to basically put the same. Let's hope that's not the case. Boris is pushing. I'm sure he is. He always is, man. He's always pushing. He's always pushing. That's just Scott Boris for you. Yo, Heck, I don't know if you have time. I don't know if you have anything going on. If you wanted to come on for a few minutes, I could send you the link, bro. If you can, I understand. But if you have a few minutes to talk, love to get you on, bro. I could send you the link. And speaking of which, the Back It Up Binge podcast, I was just talking about you a few minutes ago, man. I know you're ecstatic about Pete Alonso signing with the Orioles. So that's gotta make you super happy. I don't think Bellinger's a bad player. The problem is if you just get Bellinger that's running it back. Well, again, kind of what we've been saying, right? Bellinger can't be the only guy, right? That can't be the only signing that they make. They got to get some other bats too. It can't just be Cody Bellinger. So, there's other players that they absolutely need to pursue, and Donovan's one of them. I was packing it up, but I'll jump up for you, brother. Oh, I appreciate you, Hector. Hold on, dude. I will send you the link, my friend, and let's get you on here. So it's always a pleasure. Let's see. Here we go. I'm going to send you the link there, sir. Apologize, folks. I'm just going to send the link to Hector. He's kind enough to jump on for a few minutes. Where are we at? X 5P. I'm just talking to myself. Don't mind me. All right. Hector, I did text you the link there, my friend. So whenever you're ready, bro. Whenever you're ready. Yeah, well, that's what we've been talking about. More righties in the lineup. It can't be a heavy lefty lineup. That's a disaster. Gail Malone, if Bellinger's a failure, I wouldn't mind Nico Horner. And I got my boy Hector in the back. You good to go, bro? All right, my friend. Let's get you up here. Where are we at here? Boom. Yo, buddy.
My man, NFE. How you been, bro?
I'm good, bro. I'm good.
How are you?
How you been?
Am I good?
Yeah.
Is my audio good? Copy. I just
You're
wanted
good.
to make sure.
You're good. Yeah.
I'm good, man. Miss you, bro. Hope all is well. I miss doing these with you. We gotta do it more often during the season, my guy.
Yes, sir. I know it's been a long time. I know you've been busy. I've been busy. I know schedules, all that stuff, man. So I know it's been a long time, but I'm so happy we could connect again. So
of course, I remember last year I was supposed to jump with you when I was on when I was down for the winter meetings in Dallas. I just didn't. I forgot the time zone. I forgot we was in different time zones. So I'm full circle. I was able to join you right now for a few.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you jumping on, but
Of course.
bro, like this has been a very interesting winter meetings. Like it's been quiet. Like this
Hmm.
has been like it's been like dead sleep. Like nothing is happening. A few big moves here and there, but is it just teams are just holding out right now because the demands that are way too high and teams are just like, whoa, let's pump the brakes, or what's the scoop, man?
Well, like you said, it's been weird because last year, and of course, shade to the Mets fans, but last year, the Mets and David Stern, they won the winter meetings with Juan Soto signing early. Juan Soto set the market, and every other contract fell accordingly. This one's a little bit weird because Kyle Tucker is the big fish, but he hasn't signed yet. It's been Pete Alonso, it's been Kyle Schwarber. They are setting the market right now for the other players. So with Schwarber and Alonso both getting 5-year deals, that's why I put that tweet out. Scott Boras, he's pushing hard for 7 years. If those two players but was able to get 5-year deals respectfully, when you look at Cody Bellinger, when you look at the tools that he has when it comes to his ability to be versatile, playing the field, his defense, his bat as well, being a high level production in the middle of your lineup, you're going to try to get 7 years. Pete Alonso, Kyle Schwarber, their only value is their bat. They're not good defensively. They're not great base runners, nothing. And they're on the opposite side of 30. Kyle Tucker's a little bit younger.
Yeah, and that's just it. I don't know if you heard me say it, but I'm comfortable giving Cody Bellinger 5 years. You give him a make the 6 year a mutual option. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I think that would have to, that could get it, that could potentially get a deal done. Because personally, I'm not comfortable giving Bellinger 7 years.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not.
I'm not either, and that's why I put it in the chat earlier. If I'm Brian Cashman or if I'm Hal Steinbrenner, I'm more comfortable giving a 7-year deal to Kyle Tucker than I am to Cody Bellinger.
He's a little bit younger.
Not
And
even just
like,
not even just younger, but when you look at he's a better defender than Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger won a couple MVPs before in his career. He has that over him. But as of right now, when you compare their offense, Kyle Tucker had a bad offensive year last year because he was in Chicago. So did Cody Bellinger the same year before. So if you move Kyle Tucker to another ballpark, he could probably have that increase like Belly.
and you move him to a better lineup, and you move him with
Mhm.
Judge, right? So I mean,
No.
when you have Judge on your team, I mean, your numbers are going to instantly improve. I mean, we saw that right with that 1 year with
Mhm.
Soto, right?
Mhm.
Soto's
Mhm.
numbers looked really good with Judge on that team, but I think that was the case for Cody Bellinger in 2025. That was Bellinger had some really good numbers in 2025.
Yeah.
He stepped up big time. Kyle Tucker, no doubt. I mean, I think he would, bring a lot of value, especially with the bat. There's no doubt. There's no doubt about it. Him and Judge together in lineup. But it just seems like right now the Yankees are more interested in Cody Bellinger than they are in Kyle Tucker. That's kind of what I'm. That's
Yeah.
the gist that I'm getting. Is that pretty accurate?
No, that's accurate. Kyle Tucker, he's already visited the facilities with Toronto. He hasn't visited any of the facilities with the Yankees. Brian Cashman mentioned that when he was being asked by the reporters, but also it just happened with Toronto. So we could all leave here from Florida, from Orlando, from Disney, and then next week he could go visit the Yankees facilities down in Tampa or wherever, right? So it all depends, and it's just timing. Toronto probably got the first hack because they was in the World Series. If you're Cal Tucker, you want to go to the team that was at the dance, that were almost won the World Series. You want to get the best pitch from them, and now you're going to the other teams that follow. One thing I can say, and maybe you can agree with me or folks in the chat, this is a rare Brian Cashman W. With Brian Cashman holding firm at 5 years, say what you want about Brian Cashman, love him, hate him. When it comes to getting the deal that he wants to get, he's going to play hardball. We saw it with Aaron Judge. We saw it when the Juan Soto negotiations were going on. We even saw it with Derek Jeter towards the end of his career. So love Brian Cashman, hate him, whatever. This to me, I think is a rare W for Brian Cashman, not caving for Scott Boras and his demands.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, this is what I do like about Cashman, right? I mean, I don't. I'll say this right now. I don't always agree with the moves he makes. I don't always agree with the decisions he makes, right? But I mean, no one's perfect. However, when he stands firm on something, he's not going to budge. So that's something I can appreciate about Brian Cashman. I think he's being very careful with a guy like Cody Bellinger, because I think in years past we've seen the Yankees give out contracts, and it has it basically bit him in the ass later on. And I think right now I think Cashman's just trying to play it smart, and he just, I think he learned his lesson. I mean, I hate to bring it up, but DJ LeMahieu, right? I mean, at the time he was great, but after after some years,
caved. Yeah, he caved.
Yeah.
It's crazy because he caved because he was scared of Toronto, and that's the team that's the quote unquote favorite for Kyle Tucker. So Brian Cashman, like I said, love him, hate him. There's certain individuals in baseball or just in sports in general that are great at negotiating contracts. Brian Cashman is one of them. Scott Boras is the other one. And those are the two guys that are going head to head right now. So it's going to be the first guy that blinks. And I think Brian Cashman, he knows that Cody Bellinger wants to return to New York. Cody Bellinger wants to be a Yankee. Cody Bellinger wants to finish his career with the New York Yankees. It's going to come down to Cody telling Scott, hey, I'm comfortable with this number.
So let me ask you this with Bellinger, like if it was you, like what are you comfortable with AAV wise?
So right after I put the tweet out is when I got a confirmation on the potential AAV. It's sitting anywhere from 27 to 29. So that's where it's sitting at, 27 to 29 million. So maybe there's a way that the Yankees can give you north of 28, but not 29, maybe 28.5 for 5 years, or 29 for 5 years. Maybe that's a place where the Yankees can live. If they're going to give him 5 years, I could say like 28, 29. Nothing more than 29. He's not going to get 30 from the Yankees.
I see, and you want to know what's funny? That was my number for Bellinger, was 27 and a half to 28. I was like, I don't think he deserves 30. I said 27 and a half to 28, and I think that should be his number. I think that's what he deserves. But I'm certainly not going 30 million AAV for Bellinger. So
no, and I don't think the Yankees are going to do that as well. Again, I don't think it's Hal Steinbrenner crying poverty like a lot of people like to say from his press conference. I think it's just the Yankees trying to be smart and fiscally responsible how they allocate their funds.
Yeah, and I know you. I heard you talking with who was it? Jason, from 161.
Yes, shout out my guy Jason.
Shout out to Jason. You were talking about talking with Scott Braun and the economics of baseball.
Yes.
Did you have that interview with him?
We were having the conversation. Scott, first of all, shout out to Scott Braun and the folks from Foul Territory. We're gonna I want to do a more in-depth conversation. I don't want it to be in the passing 2 or 3 minutes. He had some meetings that he had to do with MLB today, but I have his phone number. Obviously, we connected in the past. He wants to set something up with myself and Latino Sports. So as of right now, no, I didn't have the kind of conversation I wanted to with him, but that's definitely going to happen down the line. But what I will say is that when it comes to the economics of baseball, like I said on that show with Jason, it's going to change. How we know, or what we know of the economics of baseball, are going to change when it comes to streaming, when it comes to moving away from the conventional cable viewing and listing and how the numbers show up. A lot of these numbers, people like to complain like, oh, the numbers are down when it comes to viewings and ratings. The numbers are down for viewings and ratings when it comes to traditional cable and satellite TV. Everything is moving to the streaming outlets and the streaming apps. Those numbers are not counted towards the viewers, and they're doing that specifically so they can have a one-up in the conversation when it comes to the national TV deal.
That makes a lot of sense. But I would be very intrigued to watch that. That interview with you and Scott, because I really want to understand a little bit more about the economics of baseball. Because I think, whether or not fans care or don't care, because a lot of fans are just like, well, they have the money, they have this, they have that, but there's a lot of besides spending money on players, there's a lot of money being spent by organizations, an insane amount of money. So I really would love to for Scott to kind of break that stuff down, and I think it would give fans a good sense of what the business side of baseball looks like. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's a business. And it may be fun and games for us as fans because we watch these guys play on TV, but it's a business. There's a business involved with this. So I think it would be a good thing for for fans to learn. I think so.
Mm-hmm.
That would be awesome.
I got one thing before
Yeah,
I head out, just because
go for it.
I gotta dip out.
Yeah,
Bryce in the chat says, Hector, any news on the trade front? So right, I was gonna let my tweet live, and that's why I wanted to come up here to break it here.
sure.
There's truth to the Mackenzie Gore and Donovan trade for the Yankees. It's
Okay,
more realistic now than what it was 24 hours ago. All I can say on that.
awesome. That you know what?
Not sure if it's one or the other. Obviously, Joe Sherman reported that the Yankees are going to drop one big contract on one position player. Who that is, I don't know. But when it comes to the trade, Mackenzie Gore and Brandon Donovan is more realistic than, like an Edward Cabrera.
Yeah, that makes more sense. I mean, because somebody asked about Mackenzie Gore, and it would make sense for the Yankees to go after a guy like Gore because it wouldn't cost them as much as a guy like Edwin Cabrera. Although I would love for the Yankees to get Cabrera, I think he'd be solid. But
I just got something right now. I just got something right now.
Please share.
Shout out to the little tooth fairy that loves me. The Yankees are in and favored for Peralta from the Brewers.
Oh, okay, Freddie Peralta.
Yeah, the Yankees are one of the teams, and
Okay,
it just dropped from Ken Rosenthal. Ken
okay.
Rosenthal just put it out as well just now.
All right, awesome. Well,
So
thanks
let's see
for
what happens.
Yeah, I know. See, I invite you in. You bring some good news.
Yeah. To David's comment in the chat says, so are we definitely out on Imai? I'm not sure if the Yankees are 100% out on Imai. What I do know from the conversations I was having today, the Yankees, they have three guys making north of 25 million AAV in their starting rotation already. The Yankees aren't comfortable bringing in a fourth starter making north of 25 million, especially with both Tariq Skubal and Paul Skeens free agencies going to be in several years. So if it's frustrating because you're trying to win right now. And if you're trying to win in 2026, you should not be worrying about the pending free agencies of Tariq Skubal or Paul Skeens. You should be all in for 2026. You need to take advantage of whatever window you have left of Aaron Judge, because if we go to 2027, if there's a lockout in 27 and there's a lockout in 28, you just wasted probably one of the best players that you developed over the past 50 years with the New York Yankees, and that's Aaron Judge. NFE, I love you, brother. Folks in the chat, I love you as well.
All
NFE,
right.
bro, whenever you want, just shoot me a text. We can make this happen.
Yeah, let's make it happen, bro. I think we're long overdue. So just
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'll hit you up, and when the time is right, let's try to make something happen, bro. But be safe, man. Get home safe, and we'll talk soon, man.
Yes, sir, bro. You be safe, my guy. Later, guys. Folks in the
Have a good
chat,
night, bro.
have a good night. W's in the chat. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, get my guy NFE, get those numbers up. NFE, love you.
Yeah, make sure you all subscribe to Uptown Sports. Shout out to Hector. Thanks for jumping on, bro. We'll see you later. But appreciate Hector jumping on for a few minutes. I'm glad he was able to jump on. Been a long time since I talked to him. So, well, there's a bit of news right there that the Yankees are one of the teams in on Freddie Peralta from the Brewers. I wouldn't mind Peralta. I wouldn't mind Freddie Peralta. I think he'd be a solid player to have. But yeah, I agree. I would love to get Freddie Peraza. There's a lot of great pitching options. I'm not saying that the Yankees are going to get all these guys, but a lot of the names that have been mentioned, I would love for the Yankees to get. And I know they're not going to be able to get all of them, but I like to get one. I like to get one of those guys for sure. Peralta, I'm hearing the Mets are trying to work out a move for him also. Well, wouldn't surprise me. They need pitching. Mets need pitching. There's no doubt about that. I'm glad the Yankees are still on Donovan. Peralta would be nice. If they get both of those guys, man, that would be a good offseason. And they signed Cody Bellinger on top of that. That'd be a pretty solid offseason. Yeah, I saw that same tweet. I just saw that same tweet. I think that was the tweet that that Hector was talking about. Oh, there's a bidding. It's definitely a bidding war. So the Yankees going to get Imai because they want Paul Skeens. I mean, I would love for the Yankees to get Paul Skeens. Freaking if Paul Skeens was available, made by the Pirates, I would love for them to get Paul Skeens, 100%. I would love for that to happen. Yeah, David, a lot of us fans want Brendan Donovan. I think a lot of us fans want Brendan Donovan. Trust me, man. I want the Yankees to go get Brendan Donovan 100%, man. But Yankees got to do something, though. I mean, right? That's an understatement. But I think it just seems like the Yankees they're trying to fill. They're trying to pull off some trades. It seems like I think they're only going to make the one big signing, like Joel Sherman said, which I agree with Joel Sherman on this. I think inevitably, I think that's what's going to happen. Is they have one big signing, and then I think the rest is going to be trades. I think other signings, if there are other signings, will probably be for some like bullpen arms. I don't think they're going to spend a lot of money on that, but yeah. Well, I'm not willing for the Yankees to give up half the team. Yeah, there's a point. You got a point there, AD McMahon. I mean, I get it. Imai has not been tested, but you know what? Yamamoto, prior to him signing with the Dodgers, we didn't know what he was going to be like. He wasn't tested in Major League Baseball yet, but he's had some great success so far. So, Imai could be that other pitcher. Why though? He's just another second baseman. We have Jazz, and he would just be another lefty in the lineup. Yeah, but he plays multiple positions. The thing is, yes, he's another lefty in the lineup, but he hits for contact. The Yankees need some guys in their lineup that can hit for contact. It's too much. They're too much of a slugging team, like a home run. It's a home run or nothing. They need guys that can get on base and get hits, put the ball in play. There's something that many of us have discussed. Why though? He's just another. Oh wait, hold on. Where are we at? Yanks and Mets both have contacted the Brewers about Trevor McGill per Joel Sherman. Got it. Wouldn't surprise me. Kyle Tucker and Freddie Peraza would be a crazy haul. I think if we go Bellinger, we spring for Imai. They'll probably be talking with Imai. It's a lot, just like a lot of teams are going to. That's my point. He plays multiple positions. He can lead off, and he hits for contact. I mean, you put him, at that leadoff spot, and you have Aaron Judge batting right behind him, right? Or if the Yankees were to sign Bellinger back, you put Bellinger there. You put Aaron Judge third. I mean, that top three in the lineup would be fantastic. I would love it, man. Yeah. What, 3 years? Yeah, 117 million comes off the books. Grish, DJ, right? Grish is a 1-year deal. DJ's contract will be over after the season, and then Stanton has a player option for 28, but the Yankees are probably going to decline that. It's a club option, and I think there's a $10 million buyout with that. And then Colin Rodon's contracts will be up too. So yeah, Yankees are going to have a lot of money coming off the books here in the next couple of years. So. Yeah, I would agree. He's a solid defender too, Brandon Donovan. So it wouldn't be a bad thing at all. I don't think. Yeah, I know there's some fans that don't like Giancarlo Stanton. I like Giancarlo Stanton. The guy's been. I know he's been injury prone during the regular season. I get that. I know it's inevitable. He gets injured every year, but I'll tell you what though, postseason, he's always showed up. I mean, with the exception of this season, of course. This season was unfortunate, but still contributed during the regular season. Oh, There's a lot of players, Bryce. There's a lot of teams bidding on Donovan. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he'd be a solid player to have. Um, and as far as the Yankees go, I mean, it's going to have to. It's going to take a Will Warren, maybe a Lagrange. You know, if the Yankees could get away with Luis Hill, that would be pretty dope. So yeah, well, that $10 million that starts this season, actually, Jonathan, or for 2026. Yeah, 2026 up until he's done as a Yankee. Well, I think there. So the thing is, Gail, there's a lot. We're not talking about 26, but 2027 or after the 2026 season, I believe it's December 1st, the CBA expires. So there's going to be a conversation, a meeting about player or about salary caps in baseball. And a lot of owners want a salary cap, but I know the players aren't going to agree to it. So Hector did say that Casey and Yankees are the top two teams to get Donovan. Yeah, I remember him making a mention of that. But again, I would love if the Yankees land Donovan, sign me up. Yo, Michael Yoder, Guards fan, what's up, buddy? How's it going, dude? J23 says contact hitters needed. Remember the stats of Yankees leaving men on base with runners in scoring position. I have talked about that a lot. Trust me, it's frustrating. Jonathan says we're at 74 likes. Let's go. Oh, we should have way more likes. I know I got over 100 people in here, so let's break 100 likes if we can. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's break 100 likes. Do I think Horner is a possibility? I mean, he's an option, is what I will say. He's certainly an option, but I don't know if the Yankees are in on Nico Horner. It's funny enough. That was a player that I talked about last offseason that I wouldn't mind the Yankees pursuing him. He actually had a good season with the Cubs too. You know, good contact bat, good defense. I mean, I wouldn't mind Nico Horner. I really wouldn't. Well, they need both. They need contact hitters, and they need bats that can hit against lefty pitching. So you know both necessities for the Yankees. Yeah, I figured you were a Guards fan for sure. I figured you were a Guards fan. What are your thoughts on the Guards, man? I mean, that's a question for the Yankee. I would love for them to replace Anthony Volpe. I mean, you know, I'm not going to sit here and bash Volpe or and whatnot. I know you know, other fans do that enough. Other content creators do it enough. I mean, I'm just not. You know, I think the Yankees need to figure out another option instead of Anthony Volpe. You know, unless if Volpe miraculously somehow shows some great improvement in 2026 when he gets back from his injury. You know, so far I'm just saying I think they need to move on from him. You're the sweetest. Thank you. Yeah, let's try to break 100 likes. I know again I got over 100 people in here. More Guardians may need more help on pitching, big time. Big time for sure. But yeah, as of right now, you know, Anthony Volpe, he's on the team, dude. He ain't going nowhere. You know, he's until the Yankees say otherwise. All right, we're at 80 likes. Let's get 20 more. Well, 2023 he was a rookie, and people's expectations of Anthony Volpe was like way up here, way above the ceiling as far as 2023 goes, because he got all hyped up to be the next Derek Jeter, which I didn't buy into that. And again, when it comes to prospects and rookies, you got to manage your expectations, and you got to know you got to know that a lot of these guys are going to trip, they're going to fall, they're going to make mistakes. 2023 was just, that was his rookie season. He was okay during his rookie season. He was all right, but I mean, I wasn't expecting anything extravagant from him. 2024, it was a bit of an up and down year for him. 2025 was not great. I mean, I know the injury didn't help, but would he have been better without this shoulder injury? I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, he's probably more than likely not going anywhere. Yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, if they get a guy, if they were to trade for Seager and they did get Corey Seager, I mean, what does that mean for Volpe? What does that mean for Anthony Volpe? That's it would what that would tell me is that they would move on from Anthony Volpe if they were to trade for Corey Seager. Again, I don't really want the Yankees to trade for Corey Seager, even though he would be an immediate upgrade. There's no doubt about that. But the time to get Seager was when he was a free agent. That was the time to get him. Now, just those injuries, they scare me, man. I got a prospect. What wasn't a question? Anyone would, can there be for sure. Yeah, well, Bo Bichette, that's another name. Honestly, I know a lot of Yankees fans would love to have Bichette, and they can ignore his defense. I've heard some people say that. I'm like, all right, cool. Like then if he makes defensive mistakes, I don't want to hear nothing. Oh, this wasn't a question. Okay, I got you, Chris. I'm hoping the Yankees land one of Donovan or Horner in a trade. One of those, I'd welcome either one, man. But if I had to pick one, I want Donovan. If I had to pick one, Okamoto. Again, Yankees are. They'll check it. They'll check it on Okamoto. I would love for the Yankees again. I would love for the Yankees to get a lot of these players that we're talking about it. But if let's be realistic, they're not going to be able to get all these guys. But Okamoto is another option. But look, what I want from the Yankees, if they bring back Cody Bellinger, I'd be very happy with that. But I don't want them. I don't want them giving him a 7-year deal. I don't think he's deserving of a 7-year deal. I think 5 years is more than reasonable. If they get a pitcher like Imai or trade for Freddie Peralta, sign me up for that. If it was Mackenzie Gore, I mean, I'm good with that. And trade for Brandon Donovan, and and you sign Bellinger and get a few bullpen arms. I'd be happy with that. I'd be happy with the offseason. I would be. I think that would be a good offseason. Volpe has one more year. If he can't improve, then goodbye. I mean, I would have said that for this season, honestly. Caleb Durbin, probably not going to happen. I don't ever complain about defense. I'm an offense guy. I get that, Pixelmon, but you got to think of postseason. What wins you the games? Pitching, defense. Those are the two things that really matter, that are really important in the postseason. We just saw that in the World Series. That's how the Dodgers won. Good defense, good pitching. Doing the little small things. That's what ultimately, that's how they ended up winning the World Series. That World Series is in the Blue Jays' hands, but it was just those little the difference makers that the Dodgers made with the pitching and the defense. That's what got them the World Series. So, What up, Scotty? He says think Yankees are going to get Murakami. Doubtful. I'll say doubtful on that. I don't think so. They got Ben Rice at first base. I know he plays third, but I don't think so. If we're talking about Volpe, I agree. Yeah, but you don't need to start. I'm not saying you have to have a star defender at every position, but I want players that are going to be on this team that are going to, make the routine plays and make the plays that are going to matter and help the team win. I'm not saying you got to have superstars on every position. That's why I was saying, like, I would love for the Yankees, all the names that we're talking about. It'd be awesome. I'd be okay with any of those names, but I know the Yankees are not going to get all these names that we're talking about. Like, it's not going to happen. So without defense, offense is not enough to sustain. It's both sides of the ball. 100% AD McMahon. 100%. Right on the money. You are right on the money on that. What's up, Theo? You know what? Yeah, he's got to earn it. He's got to earn it. Well, every position matters as far as defense goes. It's not just shortstop, but shortstop is that's a very important position. No doubt about it. But they're all important. Every player in every position, they all have to do their part. Mark Leiter Jr. Oh, Mark Leiter Jr. just signed with the Athletics. Is that right? Oh wow. Okay. Good for him. Momo Money says third base, find a taker for McMahon. That's going to be hard though. McMahon plays great defense, but they can't make up for a dead bat, corner positions, or power. Yeah, I mean, if McMahon could somehow, if they could unleash his potential as an offensive player with his bat, I mean, he'll be. I would love it, because he's already great with the glove. He's already great with the glove, but the bat is where he truly needs to improve. That's a fact. You can't be bad at defense and offense. That's Volpe. Well, again, that's a conversation for a different day. But at the end of the day, though, it's been a pretty quiet offseason, or winter meetings, for that matter, especially for the Yankees. I mean, who haven't done anything yet. They haven't signed anybody yet. I know there's been a lot of chatter, a lot of rumors, a lot of talks, but I was hoping some big news would break out. Maybe some news breaks out tonight. Who knows? I know the winter meetings are over now. Today's the last day for it. I know Hector was kind enough to jump on for a few minutes just to say what's up and just kind of fill us in on some things that he heard. Just from talking with people down there. I think that's great. But I find it hard to believe. That the Yankees are going to roll with, the Yankees are going to roll with the current roster that they have right now. I find that hard to believe. I mean, that just can't be the case. Yankees got some, they got some work to do. They got work to do, and I know Cashman is, he's trying. What's up, Katie? Good to see you. News will break when we're all sleeping. Usually that's what happens. That's what happens. Some late night news sometimes. Ambeer says if you have a good second baseman, third baseman range, can mitigate a shortstop with less than stellar defense. Find a better bat for shortstop. Ship McMahon off and half the dude's salary. I get that, but it's going to be easier said than done, though, right? It's going to be easier said than done. Yeah. Greg Hughes says cash quote in on everyone that old gag. Yeah. So hey, Jockey Boy, what's up? Oh, we're almost at 100 likes. Where are we at? Oh, we're at 82. Let me check on my end too, because sometimes, let's see how many likes we got. Yeah, I'll probably wrap it up here soon anyway. But yeah, we're at 83 likes. Yeah, let's go get over 100 likes. I know we had over 100 people in here earlier, so let's get over 100 likes. I would greatly appreciate it. It means a lot, honestly. The likes, it really does help out with the live streams. It does help with the YouTube algorithms just to get it out to more people out there that haven't seen the channel yet. So I would appreciate it. Where are we at? Yeah, Jake's saying a lot of these guys don't have huge markets. Yankees are going to look back on this offseason once again. Yeah, well, you know, they're just trying to find, trying to have the right trades, the right deals. I think the Yankees are not necessarily caving in to the demands. What's up, Coach Carl? Yeah, I wish there was more happening with the Yankees right now besides the interest in the talks or whatever. So, but yeah, we'll see what happens though, folks. We'll find out soon enough. Hopefully we get some good news. Even if we didn't get the news during the winter meetings, hopefully we get some good news in the next couple of weeks. Still plenty of off season. Still time for the Yankees to do something, to make some moves. Again, I find it hard to believe that this is going to be the team that they're going to roll with going into the 2026 season. They know that there's work to do. They know what needs to be done. We heard Cashman talk about it. We heard Hal talk about it. So we're waiting. Yankees, Cashman, Hal, we're waiting. Us fans, we want some exciting news. Mo Money says anyone for Bichette plays shortstop the season while Volpe rehabs and tries to figure things out in AAA. When Jazz walks after the season. Listen, I don't think the Yankees are going to sign Jazz or extend Jazz, honestly. I like Jazz, but if they were to trade him and replace him, just depends on who you're replacing him with. That's first and foremost. But if you're going to trade Jazz to get some good pitching back, pretty much. But I wanted to share this news from our friend Brad. He sent this to me right now, so that's what I wanted to share that with you all real quick. What is he saying? Kopech's name. So apparently Kopech's name is now getting mentioned for the Yankees. Boris in with Cashman. So Michael Kopech, his name is being mentioned right now. Linked to the Yankees. They're going to lose Jazz. I think McMahon has another year of control. I think he's signed through 2027. I'm going to check that real quick just so I'm not let me check that real quick. Yeah, he's signed. Ryan McMahon is signed through 2027. Yeah, he's signed through 2027. So, yeah, after the 2027 season, McMahon will be a free agent. Jazz will be a free agent after 2026. Sign Imai, trade for Seager. And get Freddie Peralta. I got you. What has been the worst season for the Yanks in the past 10 years? NFE 23 was bad. And it's 2015. That wasn't great. 2016 was not great, but I think 23 was bad. 2 years ago was pretty bad. '22 and '24. Well, I say 23 because they didn't even make the postseason. That was just a terrible year. Oh, I don't want Doyle either. I'm okay. I'm good on Doyle. Yeah, pass. Yeah, well, we know that's not going to happen. I'll love all those guys, but you know what? That's not going to happen. And so did I. That was torture. Pretty much. That was the 23 season. And Rodon was unfortunately hurt. The guy was hurt the whole entire season, even when he played. So, but anyway, folks, I'm gonna wrap it up here, though. All right. I do appreciate you all hopping on. Thank you to all the new subscribers. You guys and gals are the best. Thank you all very much. But I'll definitely go live again at some point. I don't know when. I'm hoping to maybe go live when the Yankees make a big move. I would love that. I want to go live for that. So appreciate you all being here. Thank you all for hanging out tonight on this Wednesday night. Let's see what the Yankees do. When are they going to do it? We'll be waiting. We'll be waiting, folks. But thank you all very much. Make sure you all hit the like button on the way out. If you have not yet, please hit that like button. Let's try to get over 100 likes. Let's see how many likes we got right now. I'll just check that real quick. Let's see where we're at for likes. Where are we at for likes? All right, we're at looks like 80, 87 likes. I'll take it. I'll take 87. I'm happy with that. But good night, everybody. All right, make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new and you're watching this for the first time. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's continue growing this channel. Keep sharing this channel out with everybody you know. I would appreciate it. Thank you all very much. Have a great night, everybody, and I'll see you all next time. And as always, let's go Yankees.